Welcome to Switzerland, one of the most breathtaking countries on planet Earth. This small landlocked nation, nestled in the heart of Central Europe, is home to over 7,000 shimmering lakes, the majestic Swiss Alps that dominate 60% of the country, charming medieval towns frozen in time, and some of the most dramatic and picturesque landscapes your eyes will ever behold, with its snow-capped peaks piercing the sky, crystal-clear waters in the most surreal shades of turquoise and blue, fairy tale villages with traditional wooden chalets, world-famous chocolate and cheese that will spoil you for life, and an incredibly efficient public transportation system that runs with legendary Swiss precision. Switzerland offers something genuinely special for every type of traveler imaginable. Switzerland is renowned worldwide for its centuries-old political neutrality, precision watchmaking that has become synonymous with quality and craftsmanship, its role as a global banking and finance center, innovative companies like Nestlé, breathtaking ski resorts that attract winter sports enthusiasts from around the globe, and a quality of life that consistently ranks among the highest in the world. Everything in this country runs like clockwork, which makes sense given their expertise in making timepieces. The trains arrive and depart on the dot, buses connect seamlessly, and the entire transportation network operates with such efficiency that you could set your watch by it. The country is incredibly safe, with some of the lowest crime rates globally, and the locals are welcoming, helpful, and multilingual, making your travels smooth and enjoyable. Despite its modest size, Switzerland packs an absolutely incredible variety of experiences into a relatively compact space. You can literally explore a sophisticated city center in the morning, take a scenic boat ride across a lake at lunchtime, and find yourself atop a mountain by afternoon, all within just a few hours of travel. In a single day, you can go from exploring culture-rich cities brimming with museums, galleries, and historic architecture, to hiking through pristine mountain villages where time seems to stand still, crossing vast alpine lakes that reflect towering peaks, and standing atop glacier-covered summits at over 3,000 meters elevation, where the air is thin and the views are absolutely phenomenal. The country is uniquely multilingual, with 4 official languages spoken across different regions, creating a fascinating tapestry of cultures within one small nation. You'll hear German, or more accurately, Swiss German, which is quite different from Standard German, spoken in the north and east, including cities like Zurich, Lucerne, and Bern. French dominates in the west, around Geneva, Lausanne, and Montreux. Italian is the language of choice in the southern canton of Ticino, near the Italian border. And Romansh, a Romance language with ancient roots, is spoken by a small percentage of the population, primarily in parts of Graubünden. This linguistic diversity means you can experience multiple European cultures without ever leaving Switzerland's borders. Most Swiss people grow up speaking at least 2 or 3 of these languages, and English is widely understood and spoken, especially in tourist areas, cities, and among younger generations. This multilingual environment makes Switzerland an incredibly easy destination to navigate. Even if you don't speak any of the local languages, you'll find signs, menus, and information in multiple languages, and asking for help in English rarely poses any problem. Now, let's address the elephant in the room and talk honestly about the cost. Switzerland consistently ranks as one of the most expensive countries in the entire world to visit, not just in Europe, but globally. Only Iceland comes remotely close in terms of pricing shock. The first time many travelers visit Switzerland, they experience genuine sticker shock when they see their first restaurant bill or accommodation price. A simple, modest meal at a casual restaurant can easily cost 30 to 40 Swiss francs or more per person, and that's without drinks or anything fancy. A basic hotel room in a major city or resort town can run well over 200 francs per night, even for nothing special. Transportation, while efficient, isn't cheap. Activities, entrance fees, and mountain excursions all come with premium price tags that can make your wallet weep. However, and this is important, don't let this discourage you or make you think Switzerland is out of reach. Yes, it's expensive, but there are absolutely ways to visit Switzerland on a budget if you're strategic, creative, and willing to make some smart choices about your spending. Thousands of budget travelers successfully visit Switzerland every year without selling a kidney or going into debt. It just requires planning and knowing where you can cut costs without sacrificing the quality of your experience. One of the single biggest money savers is to cook your own meals rather than eating out for every meal. This isn't glamorous, and it's not what most people dream about when planning their Swiss vacation, but it's incredibly effective. Grocery shopping at stores like Migros and Coop, Switzerland's two major supermarket chains, and preparing your own food can reduce your daily food costs by 50 to 70% compared to restaurants. Swiss supermarkets actually have excellent quality food, including fresh bread, local cheeses, cured meats, fresh produce, and prepared foods that make easy meals. You can eat well for a fraction of restaurant prices. If you're booking accommodations, prioritize places with kitchen facilities. Many hostels, Airbnbs, and vacation rentals come with full kitchens where you can prepare breakfast, pack lunches for day trips, and cook dinners. Even if you don't want to cook every meal, which is totally understandable, consider making your own breakfast and lunch, then treating yourself to dinner at a restaurant. This way, you still get to experience Swiss dining and local restaurants without the cost of 3 meals out per day. Breakfast in Switzerland can be simple anyway. The Swiss often just eat bread with butter and jam, maybe some cheese, yogurt, or muesli. You can easily replicate this for a few francs rather than paying 20 francs for hotel breakfast. If you do eat out, and you should at least occasionally to experience local cuisine, take advantage of lunch specials at cafes and restaurants. Most establishments offer Tages menu, or daily menus at lunch, that cost between 10 and 19 francs and include a main course, sometimes with soup or salad. These lunch specials offer significantly better value than dinner prices for often the exact same dishes. It's a smart way to eat at nice restaurants without the premium dinner pricing. Another major money-saving strategy is to limit how much you move around the country. This might seem counterintuitive when you want to see everything, but transportation costs in Switzerland add up incredibly quickly, whether you're using trains, buses, or rental cars. Instead of trying to pack in every single site and moving to a new location every day or two, Pick a few key destinations and explore them thoroughly and in depth. Base yourself in 1 or 2 locations and take day trips from there. This approach is not only cheaper in terms of transportation and accommodation, it's often more rewarding because you get to know each place better, discover hidden gems, and travel at a more relaxed pace instead of constantly packing, checking out, traveling, and checking in somewhere new. Stay in smaller villages and towns outside the major resort destinations and big cities. Accommodations in famous places like Zermatt, St. Moritz, Interlaken, and central Zurich or Geneva command premium prices. But if you stay in nearby smaller villages that are still well connected by public transport, you can save 30 to 50% on accommodation while still having easy access to all the main attractions. For example, instead of staying in Zermatt, consider Tesch just down the valley. Instead of Interlaken, look at nearby Wilderswil or Matten. You'll pay significantly less for accommodation, and it's usually just a short train ride to the main tourist areas. When searching for accommodation, actively look for places that include freebies and bonus perks. Some hotels and guest houses include local visitor passes that provide free or discounted public transport and museum entry. Others include breakfast or other meals. These inclusions can represent significant savings. Always check what's included and factor that into the real cost comparison. A slightly more expensive hotel that includes a generous breakfast buffet might actually be cheaper overall than a budget place with no breakfast when you factor in buying breakfast elsewhere. Consider using ride-sharing services like BlaBlaCar for inner-city travel. You simply request a seat in someone's car heading your direction, pay a small fee that's usually much less than train tickets, and off you go. It requires more flexibility since you're dependent on when drivers are traveling, and you need to book in advance, but it's significantly cheaper than trains and can be a more interesting way to travel since you meet locals and fellow travelers. The BlaBlaCar platform is active in Switzerland, and many drivers make regular trips between cities. If you're comfortable with it and have a flexible schedule, hitchhiking is actually quite common and accepted in Switzerland, particularly in mountain regions and areas where public transit is less frequent. Swiss drivers are generally friendly and accustomed to picking up hikers and travelers. The website HitchWiki has resources, tips, and information specific to hitchhiking in Switzerland. Obviously, this isn't for everyone and requires time flexibility, but it's free and can be a great way to meet people and get local insights. Skip alcohol if you're on a tight budget. Drinks in Switzerland are expensive, whether it's beer, wine, or cocktails. A single beer can cost 8 to 10 francs, even at casual places. If you do want to drink and experience Swiss beer or local wines, stick to happy hours when available or buy drinks at hostel bars, where prices are more reasonable. Better yet, buy beer or wine from supermarkets where prices are much lower and enjoy them at your accommodation or during picnics. The same bottle of wine that costs 40 francs in a restaurant might be 10 to 15 francs at the supermarket. If you're from the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, or New Zealand, and you're into travel rewards, consider using hotel points strategically. Hotel reward credit cards can earn you free night certificates that offset accommodation costs in expensive destinations like Switzerland. This tip really only works if you're from countries with robust travel rewards programs, but hotel points can literally save thousands of dollars on Swiss accommodation. Research which hotel chains have properties in Switzerland and which reward programs offer the best value for your situation. Never buy bottled water in Switzerland. This might seem like a small thing, but it adds up. Switzerland has some of the cleanest, best tasting tap water in the world, sourced directly from mountain springs and glaciers. It's safe to drink everywhere, from taps, drinking fountains, and even many mountain streams. Public fountains are ubiquitous in Swiss towns and cities, providing fresh, cold water free to everyone. Bring a reusable water bottle and refill it constantly, rather than buying bottled water at tourist prices of 3 to 5 francs per bottle. This alone can save you several francs every single day. Choose free and low-cost activities. Switzerland's natural beauty is free to enjoy. Hiking costs nothing except getting to the trailhead, wandering through charming old towns, relaxing by lakes, exploring public parks and gardens, people watching in city squares, all completely free. Many cities have free walking tour options, where you pay what you think it was worth at the end. Swimming in lakes during summer is free at public beaches. In winter, you can often find free ice skating rinks, or build snowmen and have snowball fights without spending anything. Spectacular viewpoints accessible by public transport included in your Swiss travel pass don't cost extra to visit. The Swiss travel pass itself, which we'll discuss in detail later, is often worth the investment despite the upfront cost, because it includes so much and eliminates the stress of buying individual tickets. However, calculate carefully whether it makes sense for your specific itinerary. For some travelers, buying individual tickets as you go might be cheaper, especially if you're not moving around much. For others, the half-fare card that gives 50% off all transport for 1 month might be the sweet spot. The best time to visit depends on what you want to do. Summer, from May to September, is peak season with the warmest weather. July and August offer temperatures between 18 and 28 degrees Celsius, with snow-free hiking trails and the longest days. If you're visiting in early August, you'll catch Swiss National Day on August 1st, with fireworks and celebrations throughout the country. Winter, from December to March, is ideal for skiing and snowboarding. The Alps transform into a winter sports paradise with world-class resorts and pristine powder. Spring and fall offer shoulder season advantages with fewer crowds and lower prices, though weather can be more unpredictable and some mountain passes may be closed. Getting around Switzerland is remarkably easy thanks to the country's exceptional public transportation system. Swiss trains run with legendary punctuality, and the entire country is covered by an integrated network of trains, buses, and boats. Most journeys don't require advance booking. You can simply turn up at the station, buy a ticket, and hop on the next train. For tourists, the Swiss Travel Pass is often the best value. This all-in-one ticket provides unlimited travel on trains, buses, and boats throughout Switzerland for consecutive periods of 3, 4, 6, 8, or 15 days. The pass also includes free admission to over 500 museums, free travel on public transport in more than 90 towns and cities, and discounts of up to 50% on mountain railways and cable cars. Some mountain excursions, like Rigi, Stanzerhorn, and Stews, are completely free with the pass. The Swiss Travel Pass covers scenic panoramic trains like the Glacier Express and Bernina Express, though you'll need to book seat reservations separately for these popular routes. Children under 6 travel free, and with the Swiss Family Card, children aged 6 to 15 travel free when accompanied by a parent with a valid pass. If you're planning a longer stay or won't be traveling every day, consider the Swiss Travel Pass Flex, which offers the same benefits but allows you to choose specific days within a month rather than consecutive days. Another option is the Swiss Half Fare Card, which gives you 50% off all train, bus, boat, and mountain railway tickets for 1 month. This works well if your total transportation costs would exceed about 280 francs. Remember that first class costs 75% more than second class on Swiss trains, unless it's a special occasion or your company is paying. Most travelers stick with second class, which is already comfortable with good seating and views. There are no baggage fees or weight limits on Swiss trains, and you simply take your luggage with you onto the train. Now, let's explore the must-see destinations. Zurich is Switzerland's largest city and a global financial hub, but it's also rich in history and culture. The Old Town is perfect for exploring on foot with narrow streets, historic buildings, and landmarks like the Grossmünster and Fraumünster churches. The Fraumünster is famous for its stunning stained glass windows by Marc Chagall. For art lovers, the Kunsthaus Zurich is one of the country's best art museums. Lake Zurich offers easy hiking trails and beautiful waterfront promenades where you can relax and enjoy the alpine views. Lucerne is often considered the most picturesque Swiss city. Located on the shores of Lake Lucerne and surrounded by mountains, it's the epitome of Swiss charm. The Chapel Bridge, Europe's oldest wooden-covered bridge, built in the 1400s, is an iconic landmark. The Lion Monument commemorates Swiss guards who died during the French Revolution. The Old Town features colorful buildings, fountains, and charming squares, perfect for wandering. From Lucerne, you can easily take day trips to nearby mountains. Mount Pilatus offers spectacular views via the world's steepest cogwheel railway. Mount Rigi is accessible by cable car and offers gentle hiking trails with panoramic alpine vistas. The Lucerne Festival in summer attracts world-class orchestras and musicians for a month-long celebration. Geneva sits on the shores of Lake Geneva near the French border. As the capital of peace, it's home to international organizations, including the United Nations European Headquarters, World Health Organization, and Red Cross. The Jet d'eau fountain shoots water 140 meters into the air from the middle of the lake and is one of the city's most recognizable symbols. The Old Town contains St. Pierre Cathedral and charming streets lined with shops and cafes. The city's lakeside location offers beautiful parks and promenades, perfect for relaxing. Interlaken sits between Lake Thun and Lake Brienz in the Bernese Oberland region. Overlooked by the iconic peaks of the Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau, this is Switzerland's adventure capital. You can go paragliding, skydiving, hang gliding, canyoning, whitewater rafting, glacier trekking, and more. In summer, swimming in the lakes and hiking mountain trails are popular activities. In winter, The surrounding ski resorts offer world-class skiing and snowboarding. The Harder-Kolm observation deck, reached by funicular, provides breathtaking views over both lakes and the surrounding mountains. Zermatt is a car-free mountain village at the foot of the Matterhorn, one of the world's most photographed mountains. This iconic pyramid-shaped peak sits on the Swiss-Italian border and has become a symbol of Switzerland itself. Zermatt offers exceptional skiing with over 360 kilometers of slopes and some of the highest ski areas in Europe. The Gorner Grat Railway takes you to over 3,000 meters elevation for unforgettable mountain panoramas. In summer, hiking and mountaineering take over with extensive trail networks. The village itself is charming, with traditional wooden chalets, shops selling Swiss chocolate and watches, and excellent restaurants serving fondue and raclette. Bern, the Swiss capital, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with a beautifully preserved medieval old town. The Zeitglocke, a medieval clock tower, performs an elaborate show every hour. The Bundeshaus is the seat of the Swiss government. You can climb Bern Cathedral's tower for panoramic city views. The Rose Garden offers peaceful spots with views over the old town. Bear Park lets you see live bears. Bern's symbol. Museums include the Einstein Museum, where Albert Einstein lived and developed his theory of relativity, and the Bern Historical Museum for Swiss history. The Jungfraujoch is called the Top of Europe and is home to Europe's highest railway station at over 3,400 meters. This UNESCO World Heritage Site sits between the Jungfrau and Monk peaks. The journey up on the cogwheel railway is spectacular. And at the top, you'll find an ice palace, observation decks with breathtaking alpine views, and research facilities. It's cold even in summer, so bring warm clothing. Lauterbrunnen Valley is a stunning glacial valley with 72 waterfalls cascading down sheer cliff faces. Staubach Falls drops almost 300 meters and is particularly impressive. The valley inspired J.R.R. Tolkien when he visited in 1911, serving as inspiration for Rivendell in his Lord of the Rings books. The valley is car-free in many areas and surrounded by dramatic mountain scenery. It's an excellent base for exploring the Jungfrau region. Gruyère is a medieval hilltop town famous for its cheese. The car-free cobblestone streets, fountain-filled squares, and 13th century castle create an old-world atmosphere. You can visit cheese dairies to see how Gruyère cheese is made and sample it fresh. The town also has chocolate factories where you can learn about Swiss chocolate-making traditions and try delicious chocolates. Lake Geneva, or Lac Léman, is one of Europe's largest alpine lakes. The cities of Geneva and Lausanne sit on its shores, along with the charming town of Montreux. Montreux is famous for its annual jazz festival and the stunning Château de Chillon, an 11th century castle on a small island connected to the shore. The castle has towers, dungeons with Lord Byron's name carved into a pillar, medieval paintings, and incredible lake and mountain views. The lake region enjoys a mild climate and is surrounded by terraced vineyards that produce excellent Swiss wines. Basel sits on the Rhine River at the border with France and Germany. It's often overlooked, but has world-class art museums, including the Kunstmuseum, with its fine art collection. The Fondation Baylor, designed by Renzo Piano, in the Vitra Design Museum by Frank Gehry, just across the border in Germany. The old town has beautiful architecture and one of Switzerland's most gorgeous town clocks. The city has a vibrant cafe culture and an upbeat atmosphere. For outdoor enthusiasts, the Swiss Alps offer endless opportunities. Hiking trails range from easy lakeside walks to challenging mountain ascents. The Swiss are serious about hiking, so always research trails thoroughly beforehand. Trail signs can be minimal, so bring maps and be prepared. Many trails are well marked, but assume a certain level of fitness and experience. Mountain railways, cable cars, and cogwheel trains make reaching spectacular viewpoints easy without strenuous hiking. These aren't just transportation, but experiences in themselves, offering jaw-dropping scenery as you ascend. Popular mountain excursions include the Schilthorn, made famous by the James Bond film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, with its revolving restaurant and panoramic views. Switzerland has over 700 varieties of cheese, categorized as extra hard, hard, semi-hard, soft, cream, and melting cheeses. Each region produces distinctive varieties. Fondue is the most famous Swiss dish, a communal pot of melted cheese mixed with white wine, garlic, and lemon juice. Diners use long forks to dip bread, potatoes, and vegetables into the bubbling mixture. Swiss etiquette dictates drinking only wine with fondue, preferably a dry white, like chalets, as it supposedly aids digestion. Never drink water with fondue, as it's believed to cause the cheese to solidify in your stomach. Raclette is another popular melted cheese dish, where the cheese is heated and scraped onto diners' plates, alongside potatoes, pickles, and onions. Both fondue and raclette are social meals perfect for sharing. Beyond cheese, Swiss cuisine reflects influences from neighboring France, Germany, and Italy, creating diverse regional specialties. Don't miss trying Swiss chocolate from renowned chocolatiers. Rusty, a potato dish similar to hash browns, is a Swiss comfort food staple. Swiss wines are excellent, but rarely exported. The Swiss keep most of their wine production for themselves, with only 1% exported. This makes tasting local wines a special experience you can't get elsewhere. Wine regions like Lavaux on Lake Geneva have terraced vineyards that are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Switzerland is one of the safest countries in the world. Violent crime is extremely rare. However, like anywhere, be aware of pickpockets in crowded tourist areas in major cities. Natural hazards in the mountains require respect and preparation. If you're hiking or doing mountain sports, check weather conditions, bring appropriate gear, and don't underestimate Swiss mountains, even on seemingly easy trails. The Swiss take outdoor activities seriously and expect visitors to be prepared. Tipping in Switzerland is different from North America. Service charges are included in prices, so tipping isn't expected or required. That said, rounding up to the nearest franc or leaving about 10% for exceptional service is appreciated. At bars, tipping isn't customary for drinks alone. You'll need a Type J electrical adapter for Switzerland. While most of Europe uses the Type F Schuko plug, Switzerland has slightly smaller outlets. A universal travel adapter is your best bet if you're traveling around Europe. Most electronics work with Switzerland's 220 volts. Swiss people value punctuality. Arriving 5 to 10 minutes early is considered being on time, so never be late for scheduled meetings or reservations. The country's obsession with precision extends beyond famous watchmaking into everyday life. Cultural etiquette includes being direct in communication. Swiss people can seem blunt compared to other cultures, but this isn't meant as rudeness, just efficiency and honesty. Don't take it personally. Quiet hours in residential areas are typically observed, especially on Sundays when loud activities are frowned upon. Public behavior is generally reserved, and excessive noise is avoided. Switzerland has a tourist tax that surprises many visitors. This is usually 2 to 7 francs per person per night and is paid separately from accommodation costs. Ask about this when booking, so you're not caught off guard. Most goods have value-added tax included in the price. If you spend at least 300 francs in one place, you can get a VAT refund. Fill out the paperwork with your passport, and when you leave at the airport, go to the VAT refund desk with your purchases and receipts to claim your refund. You can also shop at tax-free shops or have goods shipped home to avoid VAT altogether. The official currency is the Swiss franc. While some places accept euros, you'll get a poor exchange rate. Use Swiss francs for best value. Credit cards like Visa and MasterCard are widely accepted in hotels, restaurants, and shops. American Express is less common. ATMs are plentiful for withdrawing cash. Avoid travelers' checks as they're difficult to exchange and incur high fees. For families, Switzerland is incredibly family-friendly. Many hiking trails and activities cater to children. With the Swiss Travel Pass and Swiss Family Card, children aged 6 to 15 travel free when accompanied by a parent. Cable cars and mountain railways often have special family rates. Winter activities like sledding, ice skating, and building snowmen are accessible and affordable. Solo female travelers find Switzerland very safe and welcoming. The country has low crime rates, efficient public transport, and a culture of respect. Standard safety precautions apply. Be aware of surroundings in crowded areas. Stick to well-lit populated areas at night, and safeguard belongings. English is widely spoken, making it easy to seek help if needed. The Swiss National Park in the Engadine Valley is Switzerland's only national park and a paradise for nature lovers. It offers unspoiled landscapes, diverse wildlife, including ibex, marmots, and eagles, and extensive hiking trails, ranging from easy to challenging. The park maintains its natural state with minimal human interference, providing authentic wilderness experiences. For unique experiences, consider visiting during local festivals. The Swiss Federal Yodeling Festival happens every 3 years and showcases traditional alpine music, yodeling, and folk culture in traditional costumes. Lucerne Carnival is a vibrant celebration with parades and festivities. Christmas markets in cities like Basel, Zurich, and Montreux create magical winter atmospheres. The scenic train routes are experiences unto themselves. The Glacier Express connects Zermatt and St. Moritz, taking 8 hours through spectacular mountain scenery. The Bernina Express runs from Chur to Tirano in Italy, crossing the Alps via the Bernina Pass with stunning views. The Golden Pass route from Montreux through Gstaad to Lucerne offers diverse landscapes from lakeside to alpine. While these famous trains require seat reservations and supplements, you can often take regular regional trains along the same routes for the same views at lower cost with more flexibility. The Grand Train Tour of Switzerland is a 1,280-kilometer route connecting the most beautiful, panoramic train routes into one journey. There's no prescribed direction or duration. You can hop on and off wherever you please, making it perfect for exploring at your own pace. Castles and palaces dot the Swiss landscape. Château de Chillon near Montreux is one of the most visited, an 11th century castle on Lake Geneva, with medieval halls, dungeons, and towers offering romantic atmospheres and incredible views. Spies Castle, Hunig Castle, and others around Lake Thun provide glimpses into different eras of Swiss history. Summer is ideal for visiting as gardens are in full bloom and opening hours are longest. For adventure seekers, activities abound year-round. Skiing and snowboarding dominate winter with world-renowned resorts. Summer brings hiking, mountain biking, climbing, and water sports on lakes. Interlaken specializes in adrenaline activities like skydiving, paragliding, canyoning, and bungee jumping. Via Ferratas, protected climbing routes with fixed cables and ladders, offer thrilling ways to access mountain terrain safely. Shopping in Switzerland ranges from luxury watches and precision instruments to traditional crafts and local products. Zurich's Bahnhofstrasse is one of the world's most exclusive shopping streets. Markets throughout the country sell local cheese, chocolate, handicrafts, and souvenirs. Cow-themed items are popular Swiss souvenirs, as are cuckoo clocks, though these are actually more German than Swiss. Emergency services are reliable and efficient. Dial 112 for general emergencies anywhere in Europe. In Switzerland specifically, dial 144 for medical emergencies, 117 for police, and 118 for fire. The local emergency services speak English and respond quickly. Medical care is excellent and comparable to the United States, though expensive. So ensure your travel insurance covers Switzerland. Healthcare facilities require payment upfront and won't bill insurance directly. You'll need to pay and then claim reimbursement from your insurer. U.S. Medicare doesn't apply overseas. Keep all receipts and medical documentation for insurance claims. Drinking water from public fountains throughout Switzerland is safe and common. These fountains are everywhere in towns and cities, providing fresh mountain water free. Refill your water bottle rather than buying bottled water to save money and reduce plastic waste. Switzerland's 4 linguistic regions create cultural diversity within a small area. German-speaking areas have different customs and cuisines from French-speaking regions, which differ from Italian-speaking Ticino. This diversity means you can experience multiple European cultures within one country. For photography enthusiasts, Switzerland is a dream destination. Every season offers spectacular photo opportunities, from snow-covered winter landscapes to flower-filled summer meadows, golden autumn colors, and spring waterfalls swollen with snowmelt. Sunrise and sunset in the mountains create magical lighting conditions. When planning your itinerary, quality beats quantity. Switzerland rewards slow travel. Spending several days in one area allows you to explore thoroughly, discover hidden spots, and avoid constant packing and transportation costs. 3 to 5 days gives you time for 1 or 2 regions. A week allows for 3 or 4 areas. 2 weeks lets you experience diverse regions, from alpine peaks to lakeside towns to medieval cities. If you only have a few days, pick one city like Zurich, Lucerne, or Geneva as a base with day trips to nearby attractions. Lucerne is ideal for first-time visitors, offering quintessential Swiss charm with easy access to mountains like Pilatus and Rigi. For a comprehensive experience, combine a major city with mountain time in the Bernese Oberland, around Interlaken and Jungfrau-Joch, plus a lakeside area like Lake Geneva or Lake Lucerne. This gives you urban culture, alpine adventure, and scenic relaxation. Accommodation options range from luxury 5-star hotels to budget hostels, mountain huts, and Airbnb rentals. Booking accommodations with kitchens saves significant money on food costs. Mountain huts offer unique experiences for hikers, providing meals and basic dormitory accommodation in spectacular locations. Switzerland's public transportation extends beyond trains to include buses reaching remote villages, boats cruising scenic lakes, and cable cars accessing mountain peaks. The integration is seamless with synchronized schedules. When your train arrives, connecting buses and boats are waiting nearby. The country maintains high environmental standards with excellent air and water quality. Recycling is taken seriously with strict sorting requirements. Switzerland is committed to sustainability through the Swiss Tainability Initiative, promoting responsible tourism and environmental protection. Switzerland truly offers something for everyone. Whether you're seeking outdoor adventure, cultural experiences, culinary delights, relaxation, or simply breathtaking scenery, this compact country delivers abundantly. Yes, it's expensive, but with smart planning and the strategies outlined in this guide, visiting Switzerland is achievable for various budgets. The memories you'll create amid those stunning Alps, beside those crystal lakes, and in those charming villages will last a lifetime. Start planning your Swiss adventure today and prepare to fall in love with one of the world's most beautiful countries. The best time to visit Switzerland truly depends on what activities and experiences you're seeking. There's genuinely no bad season to visit this beautiful country. Each offers unique advantages and distinct experiences. Summer, from May through September, is peak tourist season with the warmest weather and the longest days. July and August offer the most reliably warm temperatures, typically ranging between 18 and 28 degrees Celsius. Though mountain areas will be cooler, even in high summer, this is when all hiking trails are snow-free and accessible. Wildflowers blanket alpine meadows in spectacular displays of color, and you can fully enjoy all the mountain activities, lake swimming, and outdoor adventures Switzerland is famous for. If you're visiting in early August, you'll have the chance to experience Swiss National Day on August 1st, with fireworks displays, traditional celebrations, and festivities throughout the country. Summer is also when all the mountain huts, high-altitude restaurants, and alpine facilities are fully operational. The downside is that summer is peak season, meaning larger crowds at popular destinations, higher prices for accommodations and some activities, and more competition for good spots on scenic trains and cable cars. Spring, from March to May, and autumn, from September through October, offer wonderful shoulder season advantages. You'll encounter fewer tourists than summer, more availability at hotels and restaurants, sometimes lower prices, and the weather can still be excellent, though more variable. Spring brings the magical transition from winter to summer, with flowers blooming in the valleys, while mountains still hold snow. Autumn offers spectacular fall colors, crisp, Clear days, perfect for hiking, the grape harvest in wine regions, and often very stable weather with crystal clear visibility. These shoulder seasons can be absolutely ideal for travelers who want to avoid peak crowds while still enjoying good weather and access to most attractions. Winter, from December through March, transforms Switzerland into a true winter wonderland and is absolutely ideal for skiing, snowboarding, and winter sports enthusiasts. The Swiss Alps become a snowy paradise with world-class ski resorts offering pristine powder, well-groomed slopes, and state-of-the-art facilities. December is magical with Christmas markets in cities like Basel, Zurich, Geneva, and smaller towns, creating festive atmospheres with twinkling lights, mulled wine, local crafts, and holiday treats. January and February offer the best snow conditions, longest ski seasons, and full winter sports infrastructure. This is also when you can enjoy unique winter activities like snowshoeing through silent forests, dog sledding, ice skating on frozen lakes, winter hiking on prepared trails, and cozying up in mountain huts and restaurants for fondue and raclette. Prices can be very high during peak ski season, especially around Christmas, New Year's, and February school vacation periods, but you can sometimes find deals in early December or late March. Getting around Switzerland is remarkably easy, stress-free, and actually enjoyable thanks to the country's absolutely exceptional public transportation system. Swiss trains run with legendary punctuality, to the point where it's become a stereotype that's actually true. The entire country is covered by one of the world's most integrated, efficient, and densely connected networks of trains, buses, boats, cable cars, funiculars, and cogwheel railways. The Swiss Federal Railways, known as SBB in German, CFF in French, or FFS in Italian, runs most mainline trains, but there are dozens of smaller private operators running regional routes, mountain railways, and specialized tourist trains, all seamlessly integrated into one unified system. Most journeys absolutely don't require advance booking. You can simply turn up at any station, buy a ticket from easy-to-use machines, or ticket windows with multilingual service, and hop on the next train heading your direction. Regular trains cannot sell out. Tickets are valid for any train on your chosen route that day. This flexibility is wonderful because you're not locked into specific departure times and can travel spontaneously. Trains run frequently on major routes, often every 30 minutes, or even every 15 minutes during peak times. Even smaller regional routes typically have hourly service throughout the day. The Swiss Travel Pass is often the best value for international tourists planning to move around and see multiple regions. This all-in-one ticket is specifically designed for visitors and provides unlimited travel on trains, buses, and boats throughout Switzerland for consecutive periods of 3, 4, 6, 8, or 15 days, depending on which option you purchase. You're not limited to just trains either. The pass includes public transportation in over 90 Swiss towns and cities, meaning trams, buses, and local transport within urban areas. It covers scenic boat trips on Switzerland's beautiful lakes, including Lake Lucerne, Lake Geneva, Lake Thun, Lake Brienz, and many others. The experience of gliding across these crystal-clear lakes, surrounded by mountains, is unforgettable and completely included. The Swiss Travel Pass also includes free admission to over 500 museums and exhibitions across the country, from art museums and historical collections to specialized museums about everything from watches to cheese to transportation. This alone can represent significant value because Swiss museum entry fees typically range from 10 to 20 francs per person. The pass provides free travel on spectacular mountain excursions to Rigi, Stanzerhorn, and Stews, which would otherwise cost significant money. You get discounts of up to 50% on most other mountain railways and cable cars, including expensive but spectacular journeys like Jungfraujoch, Gornergrat, Schilthorn, and Titlis. The pass covers travel on famous, scenic panoramic trains like the Glacier Express and Bernina Express. Though you'll need to book seat reservations separately for these routes, since seating is limited and they're very popular with tourists. The reservation fees are typically around 30 to 40 francs, depending on the route and season, but the actual travel is covered by your pass. Without a pass, these panoramic train journeys can cost over 100 francs just for the ticket, so the pass still provides excellent value. Children under 6 always travel free in Switzerland. No ticket or pass needed. With the Swiss Family Card, which is provided free when adults purchase a Swiss travel pass, children aged 6 to 15 travel completely free when accompanied by at least one parent with a valid pass. This makes Switzerland surprisingly family-friendly from a transportation cost perspective. A family of 4 with 2 kids under 16 essentially only pays for the 2 adult passes, and the whole family gets unlimited travel. If you're planning a longer stay of several weeks or won't be traveling every single day, consider the Swiss Travel Pass Flex, which offers all the same benefits but allows you to choose specific days within a month rather than requiring consecutive days. This is more economical if you plan to stay put for several days between traveling periods. You might use 3 days of travel interspersed with 4-day stays in different locations, making the flex option better value than the consecutive day pass. Another excellent option is the Swiss Half Fare Card, which gives you 50% discount on all national train, bus, boat, and mountain railway tickets for 1 full month. This works well if your total transportation costs would exceed the cost of a travel pass, but you don't need truly unlimited travel. It's particularly valuable for longer stays, or if you're planning expensive mountain excursions. The math depends on your specific itinerary, but generally, if your full-price transportation costs would total more than about 280 francs during your visit, the half-fare card pays for itself. Remember that first class in Switzerland costs 75% more than second class on trains. Unless it's a special occasion, your company is paying for your trip, or you highly value extra space and comfort. Most travelers find second class perfectly adequate and stick with it to save money. Second class is already very comfortable with good quality seating, large windows for viewing scenery, and pleasant travel conditions. You don't get free food, drinks, or any special perks in first class on Swiss domestic trains. Just wider seats arranged 2+1 across the car width instead of 2+2 in second class, more elbow room, generally fewer families with small children, and a quieter atmosphere. For most journeys, second class is excellent value. There are absolutely no baggage fees or weight limits on Swiss trains. You don't check your bags in anywhere. You simply take all your luggage with you onto the train, store it on the racks at the end of each car or above your head for smaller bags, and keep it with you throughout your journey. This makes train travel with luggage much easier and more convenient than flying. Just be mindful during busy periods that luggage space can fill up, so board early if you have large bags. Now, let's explore the must-see destinations and regions that make Switzerland so special, starting with the major cities and then moving into the mountain regions and smaller gems. Zurich is Switzerland's largest city and the country's economic and cultural powerhouse, a global financial hub with a surprisingly rich historical center and vibrant cultural scene. The city sits at the northwestern end of Lake Zurich, with the Limmat River flowing through its heart. Despite being a major international business center, Zurich maintains a very high quality of life, with beautiful parks, excellent museums, a charming old town, and stunning alpine views in the distance. The Old Town, split into two sections on either side of the river, is absolutely perfect for exploring on foot with narrow cobblestone streets, historic buildings with elaborate facades, hidden courtyards, fountains, and excellent shopping ranging from luxury boutiques to quirky local shops. Major landmarks include the Grossmünster, a Romanesque Protestant cathedral with distinctive twin towers that have become Zurich's symbol. You can climb the tower for panoramic views over the old town and lake. The Fraumünster Church across the river is famous for its absolutely stunning stained glass windows created by Marc Chagall, 5 brilliant panels of vivid color that are worth the visit alone. For art enthusiasts, the Kunsthaus Zurich is one of Switzerland's finest art museums, with an extensive collection ranging from medieval religious art to contemporary works, including major pieces by Giacometti, Monet, Van Gogh, Picasso, and many Swiss artists. The museum has recently expanded with a new building designed by David Chipperfield. If you're interested in Swiss design and applied arts, visit the Museum for Gestaltung, which showcases graphic design, industrial design, architecture, and visual communication. Lake Zurich offers wonderful recreational opportunities right in the city. In summer, locals swim at public beaches, paddleboard on the lake, and take boat cruises to lakeside towns and villages. The lakeside promenades are perfect for walking, jogging, or cycling with beautiful views. You can rent bikes easily through the public bike sharing system. In winter, the lake area becomes a peaceful place for walks with the Alps visible in the distance on clear days. Zurich has an incredible food scene, ranging from traditional Swiss restaurants to innovative fine dining and international cuisine, representing the city's cosmopolitan character. The Niederdorf area in the Old Town has countless restaurants, bars, and cafes. Don't miss trying Zurich Schnetzlets, a traditional Zurich dish of sliced veal and cream sauce, typically served with Rösti. Visit on Thursday or Saturday to experience the amazing farmers markets where you can sample and buy local produce, cheeses, bread, and prepared foods. Lucerne is often considered the most quintessentially picturesque Swiss city, the postcard-perfect embodiment of Swiss charm. Located on the shores of Lake Lucerne and surrounded by dramatic mountains, including Pilatus and Rigi, the city combines medieval history, stunning natural setting, and easy access to outdoor adventures. The Chapel Bridge, called Kapellbrücke in German, is Europe's oldest wooden-covered bridge, originally built in the 1400s. This iconic landmark spans the Reuss River and features painted panels depicting scenes from Swiss history. It's particularly beautiful at night when illuminated. Sadly, much of the original bridge burned in a fire in 1993, but it has been faithfully reconstructed. The Lion Monument is a moving sculpture carved into a sandstone cliff commemorating Swiss guards who died defending the French royal family during the French Revolution. Mark Twain called it the saddest and most moving piece of stone in the world. The old town features colorful buildings with painted facades, fountain-filled squares, perfect for lingering over coffee, small shops selling watches and Swiss souvenirs, and excellent restaurants. The medieval city walls and towers, called the Museum Wall, are still partly intact, and you can walk along sections and climb several of the towers for elevated views over Lucerne's rooftops. Lucerne serves as an ideal base for mountain excursions. Mount Pilatus towers over the city and can be reached by the world's steepest cogwheel railway, with gradients up to 48%. The railway journey itself is an experience, climbing through forests and across steep mountainsides to the summit at over 2,000 meters. At the top, hiking trails, restaurants, and viewing platforms offer spectacular 360-degree panoramas of the Swiss and French Alps, numerous lakes, and the rolling hills of central Switzerland. You can descend via cable car and boat back to Lucerne, making a wonderful circular journey. Mount Rigi, called the Queen of the Mountains, is accessible by cogwheel railway or cable car from several lakeside towns. The summit offers gentler hiking trails suitable for families and less experienced hikers, panoramic views that extend to Germany and France on clear days, and a network of mountain restaurants and alpine pastures where cows graze wearing their traditional bells. The Swiss naturalist wrote that nowhere else can you enjoy such amazing scenery with such little effort. The Lucerne Festival is one of the world's leading music festivals, attracting top orchestras, conductors, and soloists every summer for a month-long celebration of classical music in stunning concert halls and venues. If you visit during the festival, the city comes alive with music lovers from around the world. Even if you're not attending concerts, the festive atmosphere enhances the city's charm. Geneva sits gracefully on the shores of Lake Geneva, called Lac Léman in French, near the Swiss-French border in the country's French-speaking region. As the capital of peace and host to numerous international organizations, including the United Nations European Headquarters, World Health Organization, International Red Cross, and countless NGOs and diplomatic missions, Geneva has a cosmopolitan, international atmosphere, quite different from other Swiss cities. About 40% of residents are foreign nationals, creating a multicultural environment. The Jet d'eau fountain is Geneva's most recognizable symbol, shooting water 140 meters into the air from the middle of the lake, visible from throughout the city and even from approaching flights. Originally built in 1886 for practical reasons related to a hydraulic power network, it has become a beloved landmark and tourist attraction. The old town, perched on a hill above the modern center, contains St. Pierre Cathedral, where John Calvin preached during the Protestant Reformation. You can climb the cathedral towers for views over the city and lake. The old town's narrow streets are filled with antique shops, art galleries, charming cafes, and small museums, including the fascinating Maison Tavel, Geneva's oldest house, now a museum of urban life and local history. Geneva is renowned for its watchmaking heritage, luxury shopping along Rue de Rhône, and as a center of haute cuisine with numerous Michelin-starred restaurants. The Patek Philippe Museum showcases the history of Swiss watchmaking with an extraordinary collection of timepieces. If you're interested in science and physics, CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, offers guided tours where you can learn about particle physics, see actual research facilities, and visit exhibitions about the Large Hadron Collider and the scientists who discovered the Higgs boson. The lakeside location offers beautiful parks and promenades perfect for strolling, cycling, or simply relaxing while watching boats on the water and admiring Mont Blanc in the distance on clear days. In summer, take a boat cruise on the lake to visit lakeside towns like Lausanne, Montreux, or Evian-les-Bains on the French side. The boat journeys are included in the Swiss Travel Pass and offer relaxing ways to see the region while enjoying the scenery. Interlaken sits in a spectacular location between Lake Thun and Lake Brienz in the Bernese Oberland region, overlooked by the iconic trio of peaks called the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau. The town's name literally means between lakes in German. Interlaken has become Switzerland's undisputed adventure capital, the place where adrenaline junkies from around the world come to push their limits and tick extreme activities off their bucket lists. The range of adventures available here is staggering. You can go paragliding and soar like a bird over the valleys with the Alps as your backdrop. An absolutely unforgettable experience that's surprisingly accessible even for first-timers. Skydiving offers the ultimate rush, jumping from a plane thousands of meters up with the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau surrounding you during freefall. Hang gliding provides a more serene but equally spectacular way to fly. On the ground, whitewater rafting down glacier-fed rivers gets your heart pumping. Canyoning takes you rappelling down waterfalls and jumping into emerald pools. Bungee jumping from high bridges or cable cars provides pure adrenaline. And glacier trekking with crampons and ice axes lets you explore the frozen world up close. Mountain biking trails range from scenic rides through valleys to technical downhill courses. For less extreme but equally memorable activities, take boat cruises on Lake Thun or Lake Brienz to explore charming lakeside villages and castles. The Harder-Kulm funicular takes you to a magnificent viewpoint over both lakes and the town, with the mountains behind, particularly beautiful at sunset. In summer, swimming in the impossibly turquoise lakes is popular, and the water is surprisingly refreshing, meaning quite cold even in August. Numerous hiking trails of all difficulty levels thread through the region, from easy lakeside walks to challenging mountain ascents. In winter, the surrounding ski resorts offer world-class skiing and snowboarding with dozens of slopes, reliable snow conditions, modern lift infrastructure, and stunning scenery. The Hohemate is a large park right in the center of Interlaken, where people gather to watch paragliders come in for landing, a free spectacle that's endlessly entertaining. After adventure-filled days, the town has many bars, restaurants, and pubs where travelers from around the world gather to share stories and experiences. The atmosphere in Interlaken is youthful, energetic, and international, quite different from more traditional Swiss towns. Zermatt is the ultimate Swiss mountain village, a car-free paradise nestled at the foot of the Matterhorn, Switzerland's most famous and photographed mountain. This iconic pyramid-shaped peak stands 4,478 meters high and sits right on the Swiss-Italian border. Its distinctive shape has become not just a symbol of Switzerland, but one of the most recognizable mountains in the world, appearing on everything from Toblerone chocolate packaging to countless travel posters. The Matterhorn looks different from every angle and in changing light conditions. Photographers can spend days capturing its many moods, from pink dawn light to golden sunset glow to stark moonlit nights. Zermatt itself is utterly charming, with traditional dark wooden chalets, narrow streets closed to cars, electric taxis, and buses, providing quiet transportation, shops selling Swiss watches and chocolate, and superb restaurants serving local specialties. The car-free environment makes the village peaceful and clean, with fresh mountain air, unspoiled by exhaust fumes. The only way to reach Zermatt is by train from Tesch, where visitors must leave their cars in large parking structures. This inconvenience is actually part of the charm, preserving the village's special atmosphere. The skiing in Zermatt is truly world-class, with over 360 kilometers of marked ski runs and pistes, some of the highest lift-served skiing in Europe, reaching over 3,800 meters elevation. Reliable snow conditions from November through April, and even year-round skiing on the glacier, modern lift infrastructure, varied terrain for all ability levels, from gentle nursery slopes to challenging blacks, and absolutely spectacular scenery. The village is connected to Cervinia in Italy, allowing you to ski across the border and experience two countries in one day. The Gornergrat Railway, a cogwheel train that's been operating since 1898, takes passengers up to over 3,000 meters without needing to ski, providing extraordinary views of the Matterhorn, Monte Rosa Massif, and over 20 peaks above 4,000 meters. The journey itself, through forests, past lakes, and up to the barren high-altitude landscape, is spectacular. In summer, Zermatt transforms into a hiker's paradise, with extensive trail networks ranging from easy valley walks to challenging multi-day treks. The Five Lakes Trail is particularly popular, passing 5 stunning mountain lakes that reflect the Matterhorn in their clear waters, creating those picture-perfect reflections you see in photographs. Mountaineering enthusiasts come to attempt the Matterhorn climb itself, a serious undertaking requiring technical skill, excellent fitness, acclimatization, and typically the services of a professional mountain guide. Watching climbers heading up in the pre-dawn darkness with headlamps twinkling is a Zermatt tradition. The village has excellent restaurants offering traditional Swiss cuisine, including several serving fondues and raclettes prepared with local Valais cheeses, mountain lamb dishes, and hearty alpine specialties. After active days, people relax in cozy restaurants with rustic wooden interiors, stone fireplaces, and warm atmospheres, perfect for recovering tired muscles. The bars and pubs create a lively après-ski scene in winter and a friendly social atmosphere in summer. Bern, Switzerland's capital city, surprises many visitors with its remarkably well-preserved medieval old town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that looks almost unchanged from centuries ago. Unlike many European capitals that modernized extensively, Bern maintained its historic character with arcaded streets lined with sandstone buildings. Numerous fountains decorated with colorful statues and figurative sculptures, and cobblestone lanes that invite wandering. The city sits on a peninsula formed by a dramatic bend in the Ahr River, creating natural boundaries that shaped its development. The Zickglocke is Bern's iconic medieval clock tower, built in the 1200s, still keeping time and performing an elaborate, animated show every hour on the hour, featuring moving figures, a golden rooster crowing, and colorful displays that draw crowds of onlookers. The Bundeshaus, the Swiss Parliament building, has an impressive green copper dome and ornate architecture. Free guided tours are available when Parliament isn't in session, offering fascinating insights into Swiss democracy and governance. Bern Cathedral, the tallest cathedral in Switzerland, features the country's highest church tower at 100 meters, which you can climb via a narrow spiral staircase for panoramic views over the old town's red-tiled roofs, the river, and the distant Alps on clear days. The Rose Garden, located on a hillside overlooking the old town, provides peaceful green spaces with over 200 varieties of roses, rhododendrons, iris, and other plantings, benches for relaxing, and one of the best views of the city, with the Ahr River curving around the medieval center. It's particularly beautiful at sunset, when the warm light illuminates the sandstone buildings. Bear Park lets you see live bears, Bern's heraldic symbol, in a natural riverside habitat. The city's association with bears dates back centuries and appears throughout Bern in various forms, from the city's coat of arms to countless souvenirs. If you're interested in Albert Einstein, visit the Einstein Museum, which occupies part of the Bern Historical Museum. Einstein lived in Bern from 1902 to 1909 during his most productive period, developing his revolutionary theory of special relativity while working at the patent office. His actual apartment has been reconstructed as a small museum, showing where he lived with his wife and young family. The historical museum itself contains extensive collections on Swiss history, culture, and archaeology. Bern has an excellent food scene, blending traditional Swiss cuisine with international influences. The Thursday and Saturday markets along Bundesplatz and nearby streets offer amazing local produce, artisan bread, specialty cheeses, cured meats, flowers, and prepared foods. Try Berner Platt, a hearty traditional dish featuring various meats, sausages, bacon, and sauerkraut. The city also has a surprisingly vibrant nightlife, with many bars, clubs, and music venues, creating energy after dark. Jungfraujoch, called the Top of Europe, is home to Europe's highest railway station at 3,454 meters elevation, a remarkable engineering achievement built over 16 years in the early 1900s. The journey to reach Jungfraujoch is spectacular, beginning in Interlaken and changing at either Grindelwald or Lauterbrunnen to the special cogwheel trains that climb steeply up the mountain. The final section runs through tunnels carved through the Eiger and Munch Mountains themselves, a stunning feat of construction. Windows cut into the tunnel walls allow brief stops to look out at glaciers and mountain scenery during the ascent. At the summit, despite being at extreme altitude, there's an entire complex of attractions and facilities carved into the ice and rock. The Ice Palace features rooms and tunnels carved entirely from glacier ice with elaborate ice sculptures of animals, people, and abstract forms. The Sphinx Observatory offers outdoor viewing terraces and indoor platforms with floor-to-ceiling windows, providing absolutely breathtaking panoramas of the Aletsch Glacier, the longest glacier in the Alps, stretching over 20 kilometers, surrounded by a sea of 4,000-meter peaks. The Alpine Sensation exhibition tells the history of the railway's construction in the region's tourism development. Even in the height of summer, it's cold at this elevation. Temperatures hovering around freezing, so bring warm layers, hats, and gloves, regardless of valley temperatures. The thin air at altitude affects many people, causing shortness of breath, lightheadedness, or mild headaches, usually nothing serious, but worth being aware of. Take it easy, move slowly, drink water, and avoid alcohol before and during your visit. The altitude combined with snow reflection creates intense sun exposure, so sunscreen and sunglasses are essential even on cloudy days to prevent sunburn and snow blindness. For many visitors, reaching the top of Europe represents a bucket list achievement, and the views absolutely justify the expense and effort required to get there. Lauterbrunnen Valley is one of the most dramatically beautiful valleys in the Alps, a glacial valley with 72 waterfalls cascading down sheer cliff faces over 300 meters high. The most famous is Staubach Falls, dropping nearly 300 meters in a single free fall, creating a misty spray that gave the valley its name, which means many fountains. The valley is car-free in many sections, preserving its peaceful character. Traditional wooden chalets dot the valley floor, surrounded by green meadows, where cows graze with those melodic Swiss bells, providing a constant, gentle soundtrack. The valley's dramatic scenery inspired J.R.R. Tolkien when he visited in 1911 on a hiking trip. The waterfalls, cliff faces, and mountain vistas served as inspiration for Rivendell, the hidden elven refuge in his Lord of the Rings books. Tolkien kept a postcard painting of Lauterbrunnen among his papers throughout his life, and specifically mentioned the influence this landscape had on his imagination and writing. For Tolkien fans, walking in the valley where Middle-earth was partly imagined adds special resonance. Lauterbrunnen serves as an excellent base for exploring the Jungfrau region. The valley provides access to car-free mountain villages like Wengen and Mürren, both reached only by train or cable car, preserving their traditional character. Trümmelbach Falls, hidden inside the mountain, are extraordinary. 10 glacier-fed waterfalls inside the rock carrying meltwater from the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau. You can walk through the mountain via tunnels, stairs, and platforms to see these powerful torrents up close, feeling the spray and hearing the thunderous roar as thousands of tons of water per hour carve through solid rock. Gruyère is a perfectly preserved medieval hilltop town, surrounded by green, rolling pastures, in the canton of Fribourg, world famous for the cheese that bears its name. The town is car-free with cobblestone streets, fountain-filled squares, and a 13th century castle dominating the hilltop. The entire setting looks like a film set, almost too perfectly charming to be real. Walking through Gruyère feels like stepping back 500 years. The castle offers guided tours through furnished rooms, exhibitions on regional history, and rampart walks with views across the valley to distant mountains. The main attraction for many visitors is cheese, specifically Gruyère AOP, a hard yellow cheese with a rich, slightly nutty flavor that becomes more complex and intense with aging. Visit La Maison de Gruyère, a modern cheese dairy where you can watch Gruyère being made through large viewing windows, learn about traditional production methods that have barely changed in centuries, and of course, taste different ages of cheese to understand how flavors develop. The experience includes detailed explanations of why this specific region's milk produces such excellent cheese. Chocolate is equally important to Gruyère, with several chocolate factories and workshops offering tours and tastings. The Maison Caillé Chocolate Factory, operated by Nestlé, provides immersive tours through the history of chocolate, interactive exhibits demonstrating how cocoa becomes chocolate, and generous tastings of numerous varieties. The medieval town also has excellent restaurants serving fondue moitié-moitié, a half Gruyère, half Vacherin fondue that's a regional specialty, plus hearty mountain dishes featuring local meats, potatoes, and seasonal vegetables. Desserts naturally feature both cream and chocolate, often combining them in rich, indulgent creations. Lake Geneva, called Lac Léman by French speakers, is one of Europe's largest and most beautiful alpine lakes, a crescent of deep blue water shared between Switzerland and France, with the Alps providing a dramatic backdrop. The lake's shores are lined with elegant cities, charming towns, medieval castles, and terraced vineyards producing excellent wines. The region enjoys an unusually mild microclimate for its latitude and elevation, warm enough that palm trees grow in lakeside parks, creating an almost Mediterranean atmosphere. Geneva itself anchors the western end, while Lausanne, Switzerland's fourth largest city, sits on the northern shore, featuring a beautiful old town built on hills, the Olympic Museum celebrating the history of sports and the Olympic movement, and a vibrant university atmosphere. Montreux occupies the eastern end of the lake, famous worldwide for the Montreux Jazz Festival every July, which attracts top musicians and music lovers from around the globe. Even if you're not attending the festival, Montreux offers a beautiful lakeside promenade lined with flowers and exotic plants, excellent restaurants, and spectacular mountain views across the water. Just outside Montreux stands Château de Chillon, arguably Switzerland's most visited historic building, and certainly one of its most photogenic. This 11th century castle occupies a small rocky island connected to the shore by a wooden bridge. The water castle features towers, turrets, courtyards, dungeons with vaulted stone ceilings, great halls with wooden beam ceilings, residential quarters with period furniture, a chapel decorated with medieval paintings and frescoes, and ramparts offering stunning lake and mountain views. The dungeons are particularly atmospheric, with massive stone pillars where Byron carved his name, still visible today. After visiting in 1816 and subsequently writing the poem The Prisoner of Chillon, inspired by the castle's history, the terraced Lavaux vineyards between Lausanne and Montreux are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, steep slopes covered with grapevines that have been cultivated for over 1,000 years. Walking or cycling through the vineyards on designated paths offers beautiful views, opportunities to visit wine cellars and taste local wines, and insights into the challenging work of maintaining vineyards on such steep hillsides, where everything must still be done largely by hand. The primary grape is chalets, producing crisp, mineral white wines that pair beautifully with local fish and cheeses. Basel sits where Switzerland, France, and Germany meet at the bend where the Rhine River changes direction from flowing west to flowing north toward the North Sea. This strategic location has given Basel a cosmopolitan, cross-border character and made it an important cultural and economic center for centuries. The city is often overlooked by tourists rushing to more famous destinations, which is a shame because Basel offers world-class art, fascinating architecture, a beautiful old town, and a relaxed, sophisticated atmosphere. Basel's art scene is extraordinary for a city its size. The Kunstmuseum houses one of Switzerland's finest and oldest public art collections, with works ranging from Renaissance masters to contemporary artists. The Foundation Baylor, designed by renowned architect Renzo Piano, and located just outside the city center in beautiful park-like grounds, displays an exceptional collection of modern and contemporary art, including major works by Monet, Cézanne, Van Gogh, Picasso, Giacometti, Bacon, and Rothko in light-filled galleries. Just across the border in Germany, the Vitra Design Museum, designed by Frank Gehry, showcases modern furniture design and architecture, with changing exhibitions and a stunning building that's worth seeing in its own right. The old town, rising above the Rhine, features the red sandstone cathedral with its distinctive, colorful tiled roof, narrow medieval streets, beautiful old buildings with painted facades, charming squares with cafes and fountains, and steep lanes descending to the river. The Mittlere Brücke, the medieval bridge crossing the Rhine, offers classic views of the old town rising on the hill. In summer, locals swim in the Rhine current, floating downstream in waterproof bags called Wickelfisch that carry their belongings, then walking back upstream to do it again, a uniquely Basel tradition. Basel has a happening food scene with innovative restaurants, traditional Swiss taverns, international cuisine reflecting its multicultural population, excellent cafes serving coffee and pastries, and a lively market culture. The city hosts Art Basel, one of the world's most important contemporary art fairs, every June, attracting collectors, dealers, artists, and art enthusiasts from around the globe. Even outside Art Fair Week, Basel's gallery scene is vibrant with numerous small galleries showing contemporary work. Now, let's talk about one of Switzerland's greatest treasures, the Swiss Alps, and the extraordinary opportunities for outdoor adventures and mountain experiences they provide. The Alps ripple across 60% of Switzerland, creating the dramatic landscapes the country is famous for worldwide. Hiking in the Swiss Alps ranges from gentle valley walks suitable for families with small children to extreme mountaineering requiring technical skills, specialized equipment, and professional guides. The beauty is that there are options for absolutely every fitness level and experience level. Switzerland maintains over 62,500 kilometers of marked hiking trails, enough to wrap around the earth 1.5 times. The Swiss are born with hiking in their blood and take it very seriously. Trails are meticulously marked with the standardized Swiss trail system, using yellow markers for easy trails on well-maintained paths, white, red, white markers for mountain trails requiring good fitness and appropriate footwear, and white, blue, white markers for challenging alpine routes demanding sure-footedness, head for heights, and sometimes basic mountaineering skills. This color coding system makes it easy to choose appropriate trails for your ability level. However, and this is important, Swiss hiking culture assumes a certain baseline of fitness and self-sufficiency that catches some foreign visitors off guard. Trails marked easy by Swiss standards might be moderate or even challenging by the standards of flatter countries. Swiss people grow up hiking from childhood, develop excellent mountain fitness, and understand alpine environments instinctively. Signage and trail information often provides minimal details, assuming users know what they're doing. So research trails thoroughly before setting out. Be honest about your fitness and ability level. Bring appropriate gear and supplies. Tell someone where you're going, and check weather conditions, which can change rapidly in the mountains. Some of the most spectacular and popular hiking routes include the 5 Lakes Trail in Zermatt, passing 5 stunning alpine lakes with Matterhorn reflections, taking about 3 hours at a moderate pace with gradual elevation changes suitable for most hikers. The Schinnige Platte to First Trail via Faulhorn above Interlaken offers 16 kilometers of dramatic ridge, walking with extraordinary panoramas of the Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau, taking 6 to 8 hours with substantial elevation gain and loss requiring good fitness. The trail can be shortened by using cable cars at either end. The Oceanen Lake Trail from Kandersteg leads to a spectacular turquoise alpine lake surrounded by sheer rock faces, with options for easy walks around the lake or more challenging routes into the surrounding mountains. The Aletsch Glacier Trail, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, lets you walk alongside the longest glacier in the Alps with astounding views of the river of ice flowing between peaks. The trail from Riederalp or Bettmeralp to the Moosflue viewpoint provides safe access to glacier panoramas without needing mountaineering skills. The Swiss National Park in the Engadine offers over 80 kilometers of marked trails through pristine wilderness where nature is protected and allowed to evolve without human intervention, providing rare opportunities to see ibex, chamois, marmots, golden eagles, and, if you're very fortunate, bearded vultures in their natural habitat. For multi-day adventures, Switzerland offers numerous long-distance trails, including the Via Alpina, traversing the country from west to east through the heart of the Alps in 20 stages, approximately 400 kilometers, requiring 20 to 30 days to complete. The route passes through extraordinarily varied landscapes, cultures, and ecosystems. The Alpine Pass route crosses the Alps from north to south via multiple high mountain passes. 35 stages, taking around 5 weeks if hiked end to end. The Jura Crest Trail follows the gentle Jura Mountains from Zurich to Geneva. The Tour du Mont Blanc circles Mont Blanc through Switzerland, France, and Italy over about 10 days of hiking through diverse alpine terrain. Mountain railways, cable cars, funiculars, and aerial tramways make reaching spectacular viewpoints and high-altitude hiking possible without extreme physical effort. These aren't mere tourist gimmicks, but serious transportation infrastructure, connecting mountain communities and providing access to otherwise unreachable areas. Riding these engineering marvels is an experience in itself, ascending from green valleys through forests and meadows to barren high-altitude landscapes of rock, ice, and snow. Many of the most spectacular viewpoints are accessible directly via mountain lifts, meaning even travelers who can't or don't want to hike can still experience the Alps' majesty. Some of the most famous mountain excursions include the Gornergrat Railway, to over 3,000 meters with unobstructed Matterhorn views and glacier panoramas. The cable car to the Schilthorn summit, featuring the revolving Piz Gloria restaurant, made famous by the James Bond film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and the Titlis cable car near Engelberg, including the world's first rotating cable car, giving 360-degree views during the ascent. Mount Stanserhorn can be accessed via the world's first open-top double-decker cable car, a unique experience with unobstructed views and fresh mountain air on the open upper deck. Now, let's dive deep into Swiss cuisine and food culture, because eating is an absolutely essential part of the Swiss experience, and the food is far more interesting and delicious than many people realize. Swiss cuisine beautifully blends influences from neighboring France, Germany, and Italy, while maintaining distinct regional specialties and traditions. The linguistic and cultural divisions within Switzerland mean that food varies significantly from region to region. German-speaking areas favor heartier dishes with potatoes, sausages, and dairy. French-speaking regions show Gallic influences with more refined presentations in wine culture. An Italian-speaking Ticino embraces Mediterranean flavors with polenta, risotto, and grilled meats. Cheese is absolutely central to Swiss food, culture, and identity. Switzerland produces over 700 varieties of cheese, categorized as extra hard, hard, semi-hard, soft, cream, and melting cheeses, each region producing distinctive varieties using traditional methods passed down through generations. The most famous Swiss cheeses known internationally include Gruyère AOP from the Fribourg region, a hard yellow cheese with complex, nutty, fruity flavors that intensify with aging, essential for fondue and delicious eaten on its own. Emmental, the cheese with iconic holes, is milder and sweeter than Gruyère, with a distinct flavor profile. Appenzeller from eastern Switzerland is full-flavored and aromatic, washed in herbal brine during aging. Vacherin Fribourgeois is creamier and melts beautifully. Raclette cheese from Valais is specifically designed for melting and scraping. Fondue is Switzerland's most famous dish internationally and remains genuinely popular among Swiss people, especially in winter. The name comes from the French word fondre, meaning to melt. Traditional cheese fondue combines grated Gruyère and Vacherin cheeses melted with white wine, garlic, a touch of cornstarch or flour for texture, Kirsch cherry brandy, and lemon juice. all melted together in a special pot called a cacalan, made from ceramic or cast iron that retains heat evenly. The pot sits over a small burner with adjustable flame, keeping the cheese perfectly melted throughout the meal. Diners use long-handled forks to spear cubes of crusty bread, swirling them in the molten cheese and lifting them carefully to their mouths. The cheese, stretching in long, delicious strings. Swiss fondue etiquette includes several traditional rules. Never double dip your bread in the cheese. It's considered bad manners. If you drop your bread in the pot, tradition dictates you must buy the next round of wine or perform some other forfeit. Always drink white wine, never water or other beverages. With fondue, because the Swiss firmly believe water causes the cheese to solidify in your stomach, creating digestive issues. Though Kirsch, a clear cherry brandy, is traditionally drunk halfway through the meal, supposedly to aid digestion. The crusty cheese layer that forms at the bottom of the pot, called la religieuse, meaning the nun, is considered the best part and should never be wasted, but shared among diners at the end.